Thank you for showing some interest in our topic for today, the false ego, our constant companion and troublemaker. So let us understand what is false ego. False ego is the most subtle element of the subtle body. Subtle body of mind, intelligence, false ego has been accompanying us for so many lifetimes. And definitely the false ego is so subtle that we tend to identify with it so deeply and so strongly. It is interesting to understand already as a young child we can notice the false ego becoming prominent. Already a child tries to bring attention to himself and likes to show off and wants to be the center of attention. So already at the age of 1 year, false ego is starting to act and push us to act in certain ways, which we actually don't want to act. And then as the human being grows up, we accept so many false designations. I'm boy, I'm girl, I'm British, German, whatever it may be. Then we become student, then we might become parent, we might become husband, wife, mother, father, so many things. So we accept so many roles and designations. These designations are merely roles. They are like caps we are wearing. But the false ego makes us believe that this is my identity. This is really the problem. We imagine to be something which we are actually not. We are eternal servant, Jiva Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. We are eternal servant, but that identity gets covered by so many roles which we take too closely and we identify with them, and that's how the false ego becomes deeper and deeper established. So now in order to go back to Godhead, we do have to dissolve the subtle body of mind, intelligence, false ego. We actually have to completely transform it, completely spiritualize it. All the material elements have to be completely dissolved. And this is not such an easy task. It actually requires deep and internal work. That's what Krishna consciousness is actually meant to bring about. It is meant to dissolve and fully transform and spiritualize the subtle body. Whereas material life is feeding that subtle body, especially false ego. In material life, the center is, I am so important, I want recognition, I am the center of the universe, I am so special and unique and extraordinary. That is the motto of material life. But spiritual life, we try and do the opposite. We try and realize our tiny, insignificant position. So now very easily, in the name of spiritual life, we can actually completely miss the target. We can actually, even in spiritual life, we can do the opposite of what we should be actually doing. We can feed the ego. We can blow it up. We can look for any and every opportunity to become recognized. But exactly that we should not do. So that's why we have to be so introspective, not to water the weeds which grow along with the bhakti lata. This very, very easily happens. So without introspection, we easily can miss the target of Krishna consciousness. Another interesting thing is that this is why we do have Vaishnava etiquette and Vaishnava culture. This is Krishna's system in order to help us along to get away from these behavior patterns which feed and blow up the ego and go into new behavior patterns which actually do the opposite, minimize the false ego. That is exactly what Vaishnava etiquette is doing. That's why, for example, one motto is of Vaishnava life that we should not defend ourselves. We should only defend others, but we should not defend ourselves. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These are the 4 animal principles, and defending is not only the gross physical defense, but the subtle verbal defense. And this is one way. By defending, we very easily protect and defend our false ego. So that's why these rules of Vaishnava etiquette are there, and there's so many others also, which are meant to help us to actually transform and dissolve the false ego, because false ego is like a little entity always whispering some nonsense into our ear, whispering, you are great, you know better, you are it, make everybody know that you are right and they are wrong. This is the action of false ego, and very easily we just act on that. In fact, Krishna gives us every day so many opportunities to let go of the false ego, not to defend, not to protect. But because we are not deeply understanding it, very easily we always fall into these patterns of protecting and defending. So spiritual life is a very deep internal process. It is not an external thing of becoming a prominent person or something, but it is actually deep and internal work, and on the moment of death we will be tested how much we have managed to dissolve and transform and spiritualize our subtle body. So this whole topic we also discuss much more deeply, we explore it in a whole seminar called The False Ego, Our Constant Companion and Troublemaker. You will find it on our website. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.